godlike, and I'm bringing you my favorite PvE build. It's a classified 6-piece Lone Star with 2 LMGs. Okay. Firstly, I'd like to say that this is a strictly team build. I mean, yes, you can go and melt a lot of the content by yourself, but I mostly play this when I have a healer with me. So yeah, let's get this started. Like I said, 2 LMGs. The big Alejandros, I think, are the best option, or one of the best options. Mine just don't have the best talents, so I'm not using them. So I have stuck to these MG5s. The first one is the Infantry MG5 with Vicious, Destructive, and Ferocious. As you can see, it's all about shredding NPCs. Ferocious, that 10% damage to elites and named enemies, as well as Destructive for the 15% armor shred. And well, Vicious I'm using because a lot of the times I'm in cover, I have a healer, and he's, providing the heals, and my HP is always full, so Vicious is always active. It's a pretty sweet talent. Maybe not the best, but I mean, that is what I got on the MG5s. The other one is exactly the same, Destructive, Vicious, Ferocious. So yeah, that is what I got. Then I'm running Extended Mag here. You could run the heavy magazine spring, which decreases your it doesn't give you magazine size, but it gives you, a lot of other like nice high rate of fire and so on. It's very good. A lot of people run that because they don't want a big magazine, so that they could proc Berserker more often. The issue with that is that it also lasts a shorter time, so it's sort of like a double-edged sword. It is up to you guys how you like to run it. I just prefer to run it like that. I don't have an issue. But both ways are good. Then another interesting thing about this build is I'm running it in crit as opposed to headshot damage. Now in PvE, headshot is king, but the issue that I have is because you never have to reload the weapons. You can just swap to the next one and to the next one because of the Lone Star talent, right? It makes it so you're always spraying, and the weapon can become a little bit hard to control. A lot of recoil, and you're pulling down, your hand's starting to get sore. It's that intense. And I mean, on top of that, you don't really want to be aiming for the head. Yes, you'll probably do quite a bit more damage if you spec into headshot, but when I play PvE, I like to enjoy myself. I like to take it easy, and certainly the crit makes it a little bit easier to handle. So yeah, and that's that. Let's move on to the actual gear. Okay, so as the vest, I'm running enemy armor damage, obviously, because we like that, armor shred as much as we possibly can. As far as the PvE builds go, right, it's pretty straightforward. You want to go enemy armor damage wherever possible, everywhere, literally, and your damage to elites as well. So on the chest piece, you can get enemy armor damage. Health is alright, I guess, and then obviously a little bit to stamina. I'll explain how I've set the build. Currently, I'm running the 4.8k stam just so that I can unlock my talents, and then everything else possibly is put into firearms. You could even get a little bit more than what I have, but my build isn't exactly optimized. And also I'm using the pink mods. The pink mods are stamina and damage to elites or firearms, depending on how you can set them up so you can get your 4.8k stam. So yeah, but definitely the pink mods, definitely with damage to elites. That's very important. It adds a lot of damage to elites. It's pretty good. Okay, so the Lone Star. Yeah, obviously here you want ammo capacity, increased kill XP is completely useless, but that's what I have, so it's not the end of the world. Alright, then we look at the mask. Like I said, enemy armor damage to elites, that is a must-have. You can get higher values here. Like I said, the build is unoptimized, unfortunately, but it still does a lot of damage into firearms. And then the mod is also stamina damage to elites. Everywhere you're gonna see it's just the pink mods. It's really good. The knee pads, we look at again damage to enemy armor damage and damage to elites. Very crucial here. The other things are bonus, whatever you can possibly get. And also we're looking at the stamina damage to elites, and then also first aid self heal. You can go for that. It's pretty nifty because we are using, I'll show you in the skills, we're using a booster shot for more damage and also a box for the burst heal. I'll show you that in a moment. And then we look at the backpack. Ammo capacity, crit hit damage, pretty standard. Firearms damage to elite mods, and again, first aid, self heal. Okay. The gloves, once again, we look at the enemy armor damage. Like I said, everywhere you can possibly get it. It's a big number, it helps a lot. This should be 12% LMG damage, that's the max, and then I'll put some crit damage for good measure. Pretty sweet. And then we have the holster. Sadly, also unoptimized, but yeah, crit hit chance, and then the trifecta as high as you possibly can. The electronics is super low here, as you can see, but yeah, and it's also with first aid self heal. And yeah, it's pretty good. That is the boat. Let's have a look at the abilities. So like I said, I take the box just for the nice burst heal and the booster shot. Like I said, it's really good if you have a healer with you. It's pretty important. Yeah, the ultimate, you can run whatever you want. Just you can speak to your teammates and organize who runs what. But whichever one you take, it doesn't matter. And then we look at the talents. Okay, so because it is a pure PvE bolt, I'll never take this to PvP. I would not take adrenaline, obviously. If you have a healer with a box, you don't really need the immunity. Then we look at the critical save. It's pretty good. Maybe you're in resistance and things are getting tough, low health, damage resistance. It's pretty good. Okay. Combat medic, also very important. I can't stress this enough. Combat medic is probably the best talent you can possibly take in a group. You heal yourself with a medkit, and then you heal all of your allies around you for 40% of that medkit. That is absolutely insane. Okay, really strong talent. Precision, usually because it's a crit bolt, you obviously want that pulse, but you're not running the pulse. You're running box and a heal, and hopefully you have a healer with a strong pulse. But then when his pulse is down, the precision works very nicely, and obviously one is none. Headshot to hostile to have a 50% chance of not consuming the bullet. It's pretty strong, pretty self-explanatory. You run that, it makes your magazine even larger. Even though the bolt is for crit and not for headshot, no one says don't go for headshots. It's still more damage, so just go for that. It's pretty good. And that's it. It's a pretty straightforward bolt. With any PvE bolt, guys, just remember that no matter what you're running, I have a striker bolt as well that's meant for PvE. Doesn't matter what you're running, just remember to always stack the enemy armor damage and the damage to elites. That is your biggest, it's your bread and butter for PvE, it's not as effective for legendary missions and so on, but I take this bolt into legendary. It melts any NPCs no matter what, so yeah, that's it from me, guys. If you like the video, please like and subscribe, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.